Weekly Sauce, episode 65, I'm guessing. I think it's 65.
65, yeah.
Let's count. It is, yeah? All over the place. We're talking about Habs, we're talking about the Impact, well, CF, Club de Football de Montreal, whatever it is. We're talking about the Alouettes. Season just kicked off, starting off strong. But before we get to our guest, very special guest, this episode as always, is brought to you by Mike's BBQ Rub. Visit Mike's BBQ Rub, MTL.com, and use Hot Sauce 10 for 10% off the entire site. Alex, I know you're excited for this guest, so am I. How are you feeling already?
I'm excited, man. I wish we had him for episode 21, like his jersey number.
Yeah.
But 64 will do it.
Unfortunately, we're not in a position where we can pick and choose our guests based on their numbers, but it would be very cool to do. As we say that, I'm introducing Justin Mapp, formerly of the Club de Foot de Montreal. How's it going, buddy?
Doing well, man. Thanks for having me. All is well here.
It's our pleasure, man. So you said you're back in Mississippi. You're back in Brandon, Mississippi.
Yeah, Jackson, Brandon. Yeah, kind of same idea. But yeah, back home where I grew up. Moved back here a few years ago after retiring. So just back here running my own soccer academy. And yeah, just enjoying post-retirement and living life. So all is well, though.
That's it. And what are you up to now? Like, what are you doing post-retirement? What, like, you have any programs in place? Or are you just real estate? What is it?
Yeah, I started my own academy. And I work with kids from all the clubs in my area around Mississippi, some from different states. So a lot of small group training, stuff like that. I got my B license 2019 through U.S. Soccer. So just kind of transitioning to the coaching world. And yeah, trying to figure it out on the fly. But yeah, so yeah, just coaching and yeah, enjoying retired life.
So coaching is your next step.
I think so. That's what we're gonna give a shot anyway. So we'll see.
So how did you start your soccer career? Because I know in Mississippi, like, it doesn't really sound like people play soccer a lot over there. Was it hard to get through? The ranks, the academy, and all that. Well, and even USA soccer, like back in those days, like. They had Dempsey and all those players, the good American players, but it wasn't as big as now, because now the U.S. soccer team is really good. And yeah, how was it? And how did you start your career?
Yeah, obviously Mississippi more so known for American football, baseball, I guess more traditional American sports. So yeah, it was challenging. Obviously, times have changed. Academy system, everything going on. So, kind of being, I guess, the first one to make it professionally from Mississippi. Not a lot of teams, not a lot of educated, I guess, coaches and stuff around back in the 90s and early 2000s, kind of when I came up. So it was a challenge. Left to move to Florida with the under 17 U.S. soccer residency program. So that obviously helped a lot. Playing with now what was considered the best players of my age for a couple years. So if I would have stayed in Mississippi, I don't know if I would have made it or what. Just the level was pretty low, but I made it, and there's a couple more Mississippians now playing in the league. One in USL, one in plays for Columbus. So hopefully that opened the doors for some of the younger players, and you say, hey, a kid from Mississippi can make it, not a traditional soccer place. And but like you said, now it's a game changer. All these academies, and you're seeing young American players and Canadian players being sold to Europe all the time. And now I feel like it's only the tip of the iceberg. So I think you're just going to see more and more, more and more that make it. It's just, I think the floodgates will open.
So you're the first pro soccer player coming out of Mississippi. You're also the first free agent signing in MLS history. Do you get a plaque or something for that? Like, what do you get?
I got nothing for that. Just hey, you're the first free agent signing. So that's just a heads up. But no, they didn't give me anything for that.
They didn't give you like a gift card to, like, Evangelista Sports or something.
I wish that'd have been nice. No, just a heads up. Hey, by the way, you're the first one. So good. That was it.
Did your parents play soccer growing up? Because we spoke to Amar Sedic, and he grew up in Kentucky, and he said that his father played soccer as well. So it's like that's how you got into it. But you was just random.
Yeah, no, random, no background in the family at all. Just started playing recreationally, just as I guess most kids do, 5, 6, 7, whatever age it was, and kind of blossomed from there. But they were learning on the fly just like I was. So obviously they got into it as I progressed through the game, became big fans. But before that, they were pretty oblivious to it.
So now you have your camp, you have your training program, you have all that stuff. I noticed you were part of the MLS Next Cup as well. Tell us about that, what that's all about.
Yeah, so I guess MLS Next, and I guess just MLS in general, is trying to put together a former kind of scouting network of ex-players from around the country, even in Canada potentially, to kind of be scouts at some of their MLS Next events and just kind of eyes around the country for, rural areas and things like that. Obviously, to help us stay connected to MLS in the game, players who've, been in the league for a while, and obviously just to give them eyes, on a big landscape of country to, if you see a player, hey, let us know about him or whatnot, because it is a lot of area to cover, a lot of kids, that aren't seen, from rural places like Mississippi. So I think it's a great idea. And that was kind of just the initial steps, obviously kind of a pilot program. And, they look to build on it in the future. So my first time scouting, but an enjoyable process and, something I'll probably take place in again in the future. So
scouting is tough. I've done it too. And it's tough to because you get a small sample size, especially when you're going to an event like that. You're getting a very small sample size of what the player can actually do, right? So I run a showcase for hockey here in Montreal, and I always tell the scouts you need to know who these guys are way before you get here. Just to know their names and look at their stats, just to have an idea. And it's tough, yeah, it's tough to. But everybody's always, if the best player's there, everybody's going after him. You always got to find that third, fourth, fifth tiered player from the crew. You got to find him or her.
You're looking for the the diamonds in the rough, or the ones that maybe physically aren't mature. So a lot of projecting, and never a perfect process. But that's kind of because obviously the best player is going to stand out. If you put 10 people who know the game, they're going to pick the same guy. So it's it is more detailed and in depth, and obviously you've done it, so you understand. So it was kind of eye opening, just kind of what to look for, other than hey, that guy's the best player, and that anybody could pick that out.
Yeah.
So can we project some guys that, can play, but maybe, what will they be in 3, 4, 5 years or whatever? So you're right.
What did you appreciate the most about your time in Montreal?
A lot. I didn't know much about it before I moved there. But I absolutely love the city. And I always tell people it's kind of a hidden gem in North America. And I think someone put, it's kind of the best of both worlds between, North America and Europe. You kind of get a flavor of both. And, I really appreciated, obviously, the French language. That was something new to me. So it's kind of cool, almost like you're in Europe, but, still in North America.
Did you have to learn any French?
Petit peu. It's been a minute. Handful of us took a year with a tutor, a woman from Paris. And yeah, it was just a vibrant city. I love the vibe. A lot going on, a lot of different cultures. So I would just say the vibe was just, it was just vibrant.
And what do you miss the most about the city?
I just miss walking around. I love walking around downtown, going to the old port, beautiful city in my opinion. A little cold at times, but during the summer, people come out everywhere, come out of the woodwork. So just walking around, going to the cafe, getting a coffee. Food is obviously excellent.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, nothing major, but just very enjoyable.
So, I mean, I visited Chicago. I love Chicago. I also think that Montreal is the best city in North America. Close second, Chicago. Yeah. What are you saying? Let's rate it based on food, walking, nightlife, just overall people. Let's rank these two cities, or at least give me like an overall out of 10 on both cities here.
Both cities?
We won't be offended.
No, it's all good. Yeah, obviously two of my favorite, and obviously majority of my career in both. So, man, that's tough. Since it's a Montreal podcast, I'm going to go Montreal 10, obviously. I'll give Chicago a 9. But yeah, 1A, 1B.
Yeah.
Always two of my favorite places, and obviously I was lucky enough to spend a good amount of time at both. Just culture, vibrant, nightlife, food, whatever you want.
So poutine or a Chicago-style pizza? What are we talking here?
I might have to go pizza on that one, but I had a little bit of poutine as well.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Montreal is great for food. Chicago too, it's as well. But Chicago, the Chicago River, I did the tour. I hate doing touristy stuff. I hate it, but I was like, let's do this. I did it, and it was fantastic, man. It was
pretty cool. Yeah, I was there recently, just a quick little trip, and did it again. I've done it several times, but they give you a lot of good history. I mean, the architecture is pretty amazing. So pretty cool.
It's honestly, Chicago is. It's if you haven't visited, we went to go see a Cubs game. Like we did the whole experience, right? Like Wrigleyville is beautiful, man. I would love to go there. Love to go back there for sure. I don't know about the White Sox Stadium. I have really no interest in going, but I got to do it. Since I'm a baseball guy. I've declared myself a baseball guy this year, by the way. Just letting you know.
Baseball. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. I've always been a baseball fan, but this year I'm a baseball guy.
All right.
Just let you know.
So you played for the Montreal Impact, and it's now, and it's not Montreal Impact anymore. It's Club de Foot. Obviously, a lot of fans were, some fans didn't care about the name change. Others were really mad. Especially the ultras are very anti the new rebranding. Yeah, I don't know why. What did you think of the rebranding?
I read a lot of responses from people being pissed off. People think it's great. Kind of all over the place. I don't mind it. I understand they're trying to bring it into, a new kind of era, a little more professional, but I didn't see any. I enjoy, obviously I was there when it was the Impact. So and it has a lot of history as the Impact back into the 80s, 90s. So it's been around forever. I didn't really see it, but I understand, I guess, maybe from a business perspective, what they're trying to do. A lot felt that's taken away from the history and, kind of the new crests. I don't know. Didn't really stick out to me. I think they could have done better with that, but I still refer to them as the Impact, and I think it'll be pretty tough for me to change that just out of habit. So maybe the fans are getting used to it by now, but
not even. I don't think I've heard anybody say, "Hey, you're going to watch the Club de Foot game?" Like,
yeah. Anyone ask me, "Hey, you watch the Impact game or whatever?" I don't even think of it as the other one, and like I said, it would probably be tough for me to even get that ingrained in my brain. So it is what it is. I don't know if fans are still mad, but I still consider them the Impact. So
what's the game? What's the game when you think back of your time in Montreal? What's the one game that stands out where you're like that was a fun game? That was like a tight one.
That's an easy one. I think it was the second leg Canadian Championship. It was 2013 or 14. We had, I believe, lost.
You guys won it both years, right?
Yeah, I just can't remember. We lost in Toronto. I think by a goal, or maybe we tied, but we were I think backs against the wall going back to Montreal, and I think we beat them 6-0 at home.
Yeah.
Absolutely couldn't do anything wrong that game. Just hammered them. Obviously, that being rivals, so that one sticks out to me just because it was Toronto and Canadian Championship. So
the Leafs and the Habs, like obviously hockey is primo in Montreal, right? But the Leafs and the Habs have this rivalry but it translated immediately to soccer. Like without even a hesitation, as soon as Toronto FC and Montreal and Vancouver were in there, Vancouver was kind of like the team on the outside, and then Montreal and Toronto just automatically hated each other. So that one, I remember that one being like it kind of gave you goosebumps, like when you bring it up, thinking about that moment when you guys just dominated them.
Yeah, I don't know, out of all the games, I just remember the ones really against Toronto, whether it's in Toronto or in Montreal. So obviously great rivalry.
So you scored 6 goals with the Montreal Impact throughout your whole time with us, and from what I remember, I think all those goals were actually nice goals. Which one is your favorite?
I think one against Toronto. Hate to bring up Toronto. Obviously didn't score too many, so I remember them. But yeah, one against Toronto. I think it was again in the one of the Canadian Championships. I think that tied up the game 1-1, so gave us a decent result going back to Montreal. But yeah, second half, so kind of an away goal, but left foot, little curler, back post. Obviously, decent amount of Montreal fans there as well, up in the corner. So that one sticks out.
Your left foot is still good?
Yeah, I can't move quite as well, but left foot still.
You switch? You always switch? You go left, right?
What do you mean?
Like you can shoot both rockets, both legs?
No. I mean, I can hit a ball with my right, but it's left foot 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah, for sure. Like
yeah.
I don't know
You
how
know,
golfers play right, like the opposite hand. It goes crazy to me because I played soccer growing up too. But get me to kick a ball with my left foot, it's never gonna happen.
Yeah. My right foot's competent. I can get by, but left foot, not a question.
you've always reminded me a little bit of Arjen Robben. Now, I'm sure you know who that is, right? In Europe, so you're basically the unselfish version of Arjen Robben because
Why are you just throwing shade at Arjen Robben? The guy's done literally nothing wrong.
because he never passes the ball, but Mapp does.
That was good, man. That was good.
That's why. And I've always thought you were a player that really resembled him, but more of a passer. Like you would drive the play to the box, and you would try to, you would always try to pick the pass first, and I feel like that's why you were really appreciated. And how do you like how would you describe your style of play yourself?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the left foot. Obviously, I've kind of heard that comparison a number of times, but I don't know. I think I could have been a little more greedy throughout my career as far as finishing plays or being more of a goal threat. Obviously, scored some here and there, but obviously always kind of looked for the assist. Which sometimes under the radar or whatever. But that was kind of my game, and at the same time. With Marco Di Vaio up front, if you didn't give him the ball sometimes, he might have a few choice words. So 9 times out of 10, I gave him the ball, and he was pretty good in front of goal. So I said, hey, you're the goal scorer. So I just tried to put him in decent positions. And but yeah, that's my game. Get to the byline, unbalance him a little bit, and try and find someone in the box. And had some pretty good forwards there in my time. So made it easier.
So growing up in Mississippi, did you watch like EPL? Did you watch La Liga? Like, what was your team?
Yeah, grew up watching EPL. Didn't really have a team, but I remember watching games early, just like they come on now. Chelsea, Tottenham. I'm a Chelsea fan now. Obviously, little time with Drogba, Christian Pulisic, being an American, and so kind of a couple little ties there. So that's my team now. But yeah, grew up watching it. Wouldn't say I was diehard. This is Mississippi in the '90s, but I've always enjoyed the game. Watch a lot of games now, MLS, EPL, just whatever's on. Really, just a junkie. So
you a football fan or are you a baseball fan? What was it?
I watch a little bit of everything. More so baseball when the playoffs roll around, a little more intense. But just like I said, just went to Chicago, went to a Cubs game. Used to go to a lot of Cubs games back in the day when I was in Chicago. American football fan. I watch NFL, college, so just sports in general. So.
Yeah. Well, in Mississippi, man, you guys college football, man.
Yeah, I'm surrounded by it, all my friends, family. So it's I grew up with it as well. So I like it all.
Are you like MSU, Ole Miss? Like, are you guys in the middle of the street?
Mississippi State. My family's Southern Miss, so it's kind of a little lesser known school down south, kind of the little brother, but have some decent football history as well.
Yeah.
A lot of people are New Orleans. I'm a Saints fan. A lot of New Orleans Saints fans in Mississippi, about 2 hours from New Orleans. So, but yeah, it's a big time football country.
So you mentioned a name there, DJ Drogba. When he came to the dressing room, he must have had a big presence there, right? So what kind of presence did he have in the dressing room, inside and outside, on the field too?
Sure. Obviously, we all knew of Drogba. We're all professional players, so we knew the legend that he was, his career he's had up until when he joined us. So obviously excited to have him. You never know with big players like that when they come, what sort of attitude, how they're going to treat. I've been with some teams and players, come with a big reputation and kind of standoffish or dicks. But, he was great. To be fair, Di Vaio and all the big names, they were all super great guys, seemed committed. Drogba, just like anybody, would talk to you in the locker room, and he doesn't know you from anybody else, who is this guy. So just a humble guy, especially for all that he's done and accomplished. He would take us out to dinner, buy the whole meal, sit down. He would tell us Chelsea stories about Champions Leagues, and we're all in awe, like, talking about, Champions League days. Just a great guy. Go out with him some. And then obviously on the field, I think his first game he scored a perfect hat trick, left, right foot header against Chicago. And
Oh yeah.
they're thinking this guy's however old, and I mean, just absolutely dominating their center backs like they're little kids. Like, man, I can only imagine this guy in his prime when he can move 100%, and back in his prime must have been an absolute handful, which is obviously why he had such a great career.
Listen, we'll leave you with this. I have a question for you. So you've had a lot of success in your career. Okay?
I have another one after.
All right, okay, you go, Alex. I want to close off with this. This is gonna be good for him.
Yeah, so we talked about restaurants a bit earlier. What's your favorite Montreal restaurant?
I got a couple, two. I'll give you one that was kind of under the. Well, I'm sure you all know it. Ice House. I don't know.
Ice House is sick,
Yeah.
Little taco place, kind of hole in the wall, but that was always one of my go-tos. And then when I was in the Old Port, went to Garde Manger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's good too.
The lobster,
I had some
lobster
food,
poutine.
and then it turned into a little after party thing there. So I would say those two, just that I remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, those are good spots.
Yeah.
So like I said, you had a lot of success in your career, okay? But you got to rank these three successes. I picked your three top, like the ones that I think are the most important ones, right? So you have the Gold Cup that you won. You have the Walter Gross Memorial Trophy. You won that twice. And then you have the Walter Disney Pro Classic. So you got to rank all three of these. Especially, like, I mean, I think I know Walter Disney's going to be number one, but just like, whatever. Just like, act like it's not going to be.
Yeah. Obviously, we'll say the Disney one's first. That's probably a given. So 2 and 3, I'd have to go the Canadian Championship because it did it twice. Obviously, you saw what that meant to Montreal fans. Beating Toronto, one in Vancouver. Gold Cup was great. Didn't play a lot in that. I was pretty young. I only got a couple games, so I was part of the team. But I would say playing a bigger part in the Canadian Championships, I would rank that a little bit ahead.
Well, it's great, man. Honestly, we appreciate you coming on. We're both big fans, Montreal fans. We appreciate it. For sure, loved you over here. I don't think you can hear anybody say anything bad about Justin Mapp having played for the Montreal Impact. We appreciate you coming on, man. Honestly, it was fantastic. Where can people reach you, and what do you have going on now?
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for having me, guys. If you want to give a follow, Instagram, JMapp, pretty simple. Twitter, JMapp21. Would love a follow. And otherwise, hopefully I'll get back to Montreal if get everything situated with COVID and get back up there and catch a game and get back to Stade Saputo. So appreciate you having me.
Hopefully there's a baseball game by then. I'll have season tickets. Let me know.
You are a baseball guy now. So
exactly, yeah. Official. I'm a baseball guy. As usual, thank you, Justin Mapp, for coming on, buddy. That was awesome. As usual, this episode is brought to you by Mike's BBQ Rub. Visit Mike's BBQ Rub, MTL.com, and use hot sauce 10 for 10% off the entire site. I'm Terry Tam. That was Alex the intern. That was Justin Mapp, formerly of the Montreal Impact. We appreciate you coming on, buddy. Peace.